Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Stargirl, and this is going to be my trailer breakdown for episode 11 for this season, otherwise entitled Shining Knight. But let's watch that trailer. Let's go.
I'm Courtney's father.
I don't believe you. That's not my dad. He can't be. I put all of us in so much danger.
So yeah, last episode, wow. What an episode. Best episode of the season. I think that pretty much the majority of people are saying that. Doesn't have to be a favorite episode, but the majority of people are saying it's the best. And you know what? I'm in that camp. I agree with it. Just wow, a lot of setup going on. Set up with this episode in regards to Barbara messaging Courtney's father, Sam Curtis, and well, he replies. We don't see the message that he sent, but he replies at least. And of course, wow, we just had Henry Jr. gone. He got crushed. And we'll come back to that in a second, but yeah, potentially killed by his own father. Talk about a headache. That's just terrible. Why do I even say that? Let's move on. But yeah, this is the third last episode, episode 11. It's crazy. Absolute insanity that we are almost at the end of this first season. Feels like yesterday that we're watching the first episode, so this is just insane. I guess time flies when you're having fun. That's probably the best way to put it. But of course, before going through the trailer, breaking it down, pointing out everything that needs to be pointed out, we will quickly go over the synopsis or description for the episode, as it does give us a bit more context and ideas to what's happening in this episode. But of course, throughout the video, throughout the trailer breakdown, let me know your various opinions about this trailer, what you're looking forward to most in the episode, any theories. Let me know all of that in the comment section down below. Really interested to hear your thoughts. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, you're looking forward to this episode, you're just enjoying the Star Wars, the Stargirl stuff, drop a like on the video, help support the channel. Thank you. Courtney's life gets turned upside down when someone from her past arrives in Blue Valley. Meanwhile, Pat uncovers new information about the ISA's plan, and Jordan makes a surprising discovery at work. So the first thing that needs to be pointed out about this episode has nothing to do with the trailer, and that's that Jeff Johns wrote this episode. So you know there is going to be at least some deep lore in some way, and just important story stuff here, to the point where, well, not just that it's Jeff Johns, the comic book god, but the fact that he's the showrunner. So the showrunner has come in to write this episode, so it's an important episode in regards to story. So yeah, I thought I'd point that out if you didn't know, which I'm sure most of you didn't. But the second thing I want to bring up quickly before we jump into the trailer breakdown, and you can let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. Do you think that Henry Jr. is still alive and his father might have just faked his death, but made it so Henry might have still been knocked out, and he'll be used in tandem with his father to power the ISA's plan? Do you think that's a possibility, or do you think he's actually gone? I think he's still alive. I can't see them killing him off, but if he is alive, they're going to have to reveal it before the end of the season, as I said in my review, so it'll be interesting to see what they do there. But yeah, we start off this trailer for episode 11 with a new visitor to town. He rolls on in, and of course, it's not a mystery. We're not going, oh, who's that? Of course, we know it's Sam Curtis, who is Courtney's father. Now, of course, as I said earlier, we saw the email that Barbara sent him last episode saying, oh, it's about your daughter and everything like that. And we also saw that his reply showed up in her inbox with the message remaining hidden. So we're left in a, ooh, what did it say sort of territory. Now, Sam Curtis is actually played by Jeff Stoltz, who some of you may be familiar with. You might see him and go, hey, I recognize that face. I've seen him and stuff. And you've probably seen him in various shows, or at least something. He's been in a few popular series. I personally remember him from a show called Zoo. He wasn't a big part of it, but he was in the show, which was a show where animals around the world just went F them humans and just started killing people everywhere. Crazy show, and I remember he was in it. He was like a detective or like an FBI dude or something like that. But anyway, we see Sam introducing himself to Pat, and I guess also Courtney, because she'd be like, hey, who the hell are you? Now, Barbara, of course, would not need an introduction for obvious reasons. She's probably like, oh, is that what your email said? You said that you're going to randomly be turning up? Like, Jesus, give me at least a couple days heads up. Now, Courtney is not happy because she's, like, obviously, for obvious reasons, she's a bit disappointed here. But I do wonder what Pat's reaction to this is going to be. Will he be welcoming, like, hey buddy, come into the house, or will he be not so welcoming? Does he know specifically about Barbara's past with him, maybe what he did to Barbara? It would be a bit weird to have the ex of your partner in your house all of a sudden, especially if that ex is, well, let's be completely honest, a major asshole. Now, Courtney's reaction to her father is incredibly interesting for one main reason for me, and that's because it is a complete 180 on the comics. When her father shows up in the comics, it's pretty much Like, it was in the exact same way, pretty much, him showing up. If anything, I think it's more out of the blue. I think he just shows up. But she's, she's super excited to see her father. Like, so happy. But yeah, here she is, she's the opposite. She's obviously disappointed that her father isn't actually Starman. She's been going around saying, my father's Starman. Wow, how cool's that? But of course, like, Courtney shouldn't be too surprised, because the two people who would know if her father was actually Starman have been telling her that that is not the case ever since she brought it up to them specifically, whether it was Pat all the way back in episode 1 or it was Barbara last episode. So I know why Courtney's so disappointed. But we do have Courtney and her dad Sam walking down the streets of Blue Valley, probably just getting to know each other, just a bit of a chat, just a bit of an introduction session. But yeah, it's more of an introduction session rather than catching up. Now, even though this could be considered a spoiler to those watching, it shouldn't be to anyone who has good assumptions. Now, Sam Curtis, as I said before, is an ass or an asshole, and throughout this trailer, I won't point it out, but some of you with the eagle eyes might be able to see it, but Courtney has something in this trailer and then doesn't have something later in the trailer, or doesn't have it at all in certain parts of the trailer. If you want to go through the trailer and look out for it, you can do that. But if you if you do it in detective work and you find out, it's your fault. You spoiled yourself. But yeah, if you go do that, you'll get a good grip as to what Sam Curtis is really here for. Or maybe not 100% here for. The show might swap it up a bit, but it's definitely him taking advantage of the situation that he's in. Now, I guess the big question is that could there be a twist in this episode associated with Sam Curtis? Is he simply dropping by and maybe being a bit of an asshole during that time? Or is there something major going to go down associated with his presence? It's going to be interesting because they could go either way. They could make it as almost like a distraction, like Sam's appearing as a pretty bad person, and then he just goes off and nothing happens there. Or he could be tied to something else. It'll be interesting. I'm actually curious to see what they do. But transitioning back to stuff that we've been, used to throughout this season, the cosmic staff starts to go crazy as Courtney touches it and picks it up, with Pat and Barbara in the background being like, oh God, should have brought the sunglasses. Now, I guess the big question is, why is it doing it? Is this because of Courtney, fully embracing her responsibility? Or maybe she has doubts on her being Stargirl and the wielder of the cosmic staff, as, obviously it's revealed to her as to who her father actually is. She isn't carrying on any legacy. She's just a random girl picking up the staff. So this could be the staff embracing Courtney, if you think about it. It's Courtney might have her doubts, and the staff is no, I belong to you. So this could be a really emotional and powerful moment in the episode, and I'm hoping it actually is something like that. Now, towards the end of the episode, we do get a bit of the namesake for the episode, that of course being Janitor Justin, aka Sir Justin, aka Shining Knight. Now, due to the episode being named after him, you would hope we get some backstory for him potentially, maybe from the point that Pat last remembered him, so we might go back a couple of decades, or maybe even almost a century. Or maybe we might just get the story as to how he ended up in Blue Valley, ended up working at the school, everything like that. I personally can't wait for what they do with him, especially due to, as I said earlier in the video, Jeff Johns being the writer of the episode. Surely he'll do some stuff that's fairly interesting here. Now, I would love to see him in that Shining Knight armor, or the gear that we saw in the photo of the 7 Soldiers of Victory. Who knows if we'll get that, but it would be awesome to see it, even if it is just in a flashback scene, or a flashback thing. Now, the end of the trailer actually shows Sir Justin pulling out his enchanted sword and going up against Dragon King and 2 of his drones in Pat's shop. Now, personally, I'm pretty sure this is in his imagination. There are actually 2 primary images that we'll go over in a second that heavily suggest this, but it will be interesting to see why Sir Justin is dragged to Pat's shop, and also, I guess, maybe why he's seeing Dragon King and stuff. But maybe in regards to him being in Pat's shop, maybe it's just it's in his gut to go there. It's like a gut feeling. But just the way that Dragon King and those 2 drones are set up, it just 100% looks like Sir Justin is making that up in his head. But maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe this area is a trigger point or something for him. I'm sure the episode will explain it. But regardless, I just can't wait for more Shining Knight stuff in this episode. And also just to see what they do in this episode to set up the final 2 episodes, which is pretty much like a 2-parter as well. So going to be interesting. But yeah, as I said, we do have some promo images. Not many. There's 4, and one of them really isn't a promo image. It's more like a behind-the-scenes shot. And that's the first one here. This is the behind-the-scenes shot. It's of Angelica Washington, who of course plays Beth in the blue car, who is, the blue car is what was in the background of that Dragon King and his drones, shot or screenshot, whatever you want to call it. So that's a behind-the-scenes shot. So that's actually not meant to be anything tied to the episode for the most part. But the next two ones are very interesting, and this is connected to that Dragon King and the two drones thing. So we see Pat, Rick, and Beth here. So obviously we had Rick and Beth sort of working on stuff, and maybe they've been doing that here, and Pat comes to confront them, or maybe it's to warn them about something. It'll be interesting. I'm sure it'll lead up to this point because things are starting to, heat up in Blue Valley. So maybe he's trying to like get everyone together to make sure everyone's safe, because maybe identities are getting out there and everything like that. But the next one, it shows Pat sort of turning around, like being like, hold on, like calm down. And you can see that Rick is next to Pat, and we can assume that Beth is on the other side, almost in the same position as Dragon King and those two drones. So in that imagination that Shining Knight or Sir Justin's having, Pat is Dragon King and Rick and Beth are those two drones. So I think that's pretty much what's happening in that scene. I wonder what's going to snap him out of it. Maybe Pat realizes that that is Shining Knight and says like Sir Justin or something and snaps him out of it. But it seems that's what's happening here. Will be interesting though to see if this is in the first half of the episode or towards the end. Can't wait. And the last promo image for this episode that we have at the moment, at least, is Barbara and Courtney in the Whitmore and Dugan household, obviously as Sam Curtis arrives, and Courtney's like, wow, thought my dad was cooler than this. And yeah, and Barbara's like, yep, told ya. And Pat's probably in the foreground saying, yep, told you as well. So that's the end of the promo images. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you enjoyed the trailer breakdown. If you did, it would be awesome if you could drop a like and show support. Let me know all your various opinions in the comments section down below about what you thought of the trailer, what you're looking forward to. Do you have any theories as well? Let me know all of them in the comments. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for more Stargirl stuff. And I'll catch you guys on the next video. Goodbye.